Hey, all viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to the map tour of the old Last Call for London map in Minecraft with myself and Phil. How you doing over there, Phil?
Wow. Well, we've had a bit of interesting insights, haven't we,
We have,
into what's been going on and
indeed.
various different time periods that we've been taking part of. As last time we looked at our 14th century time period, and I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Looking at what our plans were and what we were to do. But I
indeed.
think we've done a good shout. Yeah. So now moving on to the last sort of thing that we
Did
managed to
manage to
build.
build, yeah, at least part of.
We would say we, it's you.
Well, yeah, me technically, I built it, but yeah. So back here, of course, obviously we showcased this castle and this medieval section in the last video. So this was all good, and like Phil says, the whole kind of storyline necessitated us, the storyline that we had planned was going to be a time traveling adventure, so we'd go to different time periods, and we're going to show you the final
Science
section.
fiction. That's what we like.
Yes, I'm going to show you the final section of this map. Hopefully, if I can remember, I think it was somewhere
Where
basically
it
just
was.
across over here, over this waterway. Assuming that the map hasn't corrupted and changed completely.
Degenerated.
Yeah.
Did something degenerate? I don't think that's
Ah,
quite
I
correct
see what I'm
terminology.
looking for. It's over here. Yes. So you'll see a big railway line coming into view here, ladies and gentlemen. So if we just follow this, we'll get to where we need to be. Oh, now you see a wall coming into view. A partially
Ah,
built wall, that is. Okay, so this was going to be the second of the 10 time periods that myself, Phil, and the Aeon Avenger characters go to in our
gosh.
time traveling adventure. And this was 1916 in France, near the Somme. At least this is what it was meant to be. So it was basically World War One was what it was going to be. As you can
Yeah,
tell
World
from the
War
fact
One was
that
our time period.
a lot of these buildings are in a bit of a, well, how should I say, very damaged state, to put it that way. But like I say, this section of the map is not technically completed. I built a fair amount of it, but I never got around to completing it. Thing is, what
A
you're,
shame, a shame, but
yeah,
you did a good job as well. It's a shame that these things are partly broken.
yeah. Well, thing is about this map, a lot of the things that you see here are meant to be kind of broken. I deliberately
Oh,
designed them
because of the
that way.
bombs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's
What
been
was I
like,
thinking?
yeah, it's World
It's
War
World War
One.
One, for God's sake.
So the whole idea really here was that it doesn't matter if it looks ugly because well, in many ways, it's meant to look ugly. It's meant to look like it's been absolutely torn apart. So as we're going along, you'll see there's quite an art form, I think, to actually building ruined buildings, deliberately ruined buildings in Minecraft. And so I had to dig out craters and things like that, and then
Yeah,
build walls that look like
I
they'd
must
fallen
admit.
apart.
I must admit, from my lookings here, because
Yeah,
I haven't really seen this properly. I do like the train.
yeah, the train
That's
over
very
here.
nice looking.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
start out. We'll
let's
start out with the train over
let's have a
here.
look at the old train then.
Yeah, as you can see, I didn't just want to use normal minecart rails because they're so small. I wanted
Oh,
to actually, yeah,
you've used pistons as the sort of like
yeah, the buffers.
buffers. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's clever.
indeed. That's
I
always
like the
something I
build up.
do whenever I build trains in Minecraft, like proper sized ones like this. Yeah, I always like to use pistons like this and extend them
But have you
out.
thought of something? Have you thought of? Hang on, it's time for a reference. You'll probably get it straight away, but we'll have to see if the
Okay.
viewers get it. I like trains.
Oh, yes, I do indeed get that. And I'm
Good old
sure
passed out movie.
many other people do too, yes. You can see, I've got a little driver's compartment over here, little
Wow,
firebox going in there.
that's quite a basic driver's
Yeah,
compartment.
it's a bit basic because limits of what you can do in
Imagine
Minecraft.
imagine if that's what we needed to control
I
trains.
know,
Just two
imagine.
levers.
Yeah, and if I can actually open up the coal tender
Literally
over
put a
here.
fence gate.
Yeah, then we've got the carriages back over here. So,
Oh, well, that helps, I suppose,
yeah,
having coal blocks
yeah,
instead of just normal. Because before, if you were doing this before coal blocks were here, you'd probably have to use like coal ore or something
yeah,
like that,
coal
or
ore.
just black wool.
Oh, I accidentally just threw a thing down, a night vision potion. As you can see, we've got the interior of this train carriage here. It's got like these little overhead shelves, and then the little
Yeah.
tables and chairs down the middle. I mean, the decor on the inside is pretty basic, but yeah, it is what it is, which isn't too bad though. You see, I think all the carriages, as far as I'm aware, are pretty much the same. Yeah, there's not really much kind of to them. But I do like building trains like this in Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, and even the little bit of the train track
Yeah,
The railway line's been demolished there.
indeed. Yeah, like a
Good
bomb's hit it or
stuff. Good
something.
stuff.
Yeah. So the thing is, what you're seeing here, ladies and
It's
gentlemen,
what you get. There you
yeah,
go.
is what you
What you
get.
see is what you get. Oh, WYSIWYG.
But this is actually only a fraction, really, of what I wanted to build for this time period. Because the thing about the storyline for this time period was going to be that we didn't, well, when we land in this kind of time period, the idea was that we wouldn't land in this kind of ruined town itself. The idea was that, the plan I had in mind was that we would actually spawn out a short distance from the town, sort of going in this direction. So
Yes.
the idea I had was that we would have like the beginnings of like an actual battlefield over here with like trenches. So we'd like spawn, I think, in the British trenches,
Of
and
course.
where we'd
Yeah. That's
find that,
French World War One
yeah,
thing.
where we'd find that there's something clearly amiss. There's no actual soldiers here. At least everyone appears to be dead, because the kind of whole storyline was this with this time period was that there was going to be like there were going to be like lots of like zombie German troops, because like the storyline would later
Yay.
be that the Germans had been doing a scientific experiment. They created
Of
undead
course they have.
soldiers. Yeah, as you
Bloody
do.
Germans, always doing scientific
Yeah,
experiments.
in
Especially
any
using Joseph Mengele. Oh no, wrong, wrong,
wrong
wrong.
war. Yeah. So yeah, the idea was I was going to have like a whole section of the map over on this side, where there would be British trenches, and then a short distance away there would be German trenches, which we would come to later down the line. And the idea was we would spawn in the British trenches, where we would investigate for a bit. Then it would be kind of there'd be more of like a horror theme to this time period. Basically, it would be slightly spookier than what we'd seen so far. That was going to be the idea, and we would eventually come across these like zombie Germans. We would be chased into the town. I think the storyline was that me and you were going to get
So
separated.
we were going a bit fantasy there then.
Um,
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember with the details of the storyline. I think the storyline was that the kind of particular trap key that we were supposed to be finding in this time period had been found by the Germans, who had used its properties, its ability to kind of like distort time and space to create
Yeah.
like a zombie army. So there's kind of like a
Nice.
sci-fi explanation to it. I mean, I can't really remember it too well, but yeah, that was sort of the explanation. So yeah, I wouldn't say so much like fantasy, but definitely more of like a
Mm.
horror vibe. That was what I had in mind for this area. And the thing is, like, part of the plan, like looking at the biomes, for example, you notice there's like a desert over there, which is not really kind of fitting with the time period this is supposed to be. But the plan I had in mind was that I would use MC Edit to change the biomes, to basically reset them, probably to like swampland, because swampland is quite murky and earthy. And then I would replace a lot of like the topsoil with coarse dirt, so that grass doesn't spread, to make it like have this like really dead, muddy, brown, quite earthy feel to it. But as you can see, I never actually got around to doing that,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Hey, you've got something that's rare in Minecraft over there on the desert, in the desert area. There's
Oh,
a surface lava pool.
yeah, those are quite rare, aren't they? Yeah, but yeah, let's get down and actually explore some of this village whilst we're here. So you can see it was meant to be kind of like a walled sort of town. Now, I remember building these little sort of corner towers, and I was never quite satisfied with them because the spire was kind of not very tall. If I was to rebuild this today, I would redesign the spires on these towers to make them taller.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, like we would sort of come down, we'd find our way into the village. I think the storyline was me and you, we were going to get like separated from the Aeon Avengers, and we'd end up sort of stumbling around this town on our own, exploring. As you can see,
Trying to
it's all
work
like,
out what's going on.
yeah.
Yeah, bombed city. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, and so like we'd be going through all these like deserted, ruined houses and things, like wondering, oh, where is everyone? There's nobody here. What's going on? And so we'd be kind of exploring all these locations, and evading kind of the zombies, things like that. Do you like my classic car that I built here? This thing, it's like a Rolls
It's like
Royce
the
type
Pope
thing,
Mobile.
yeah, like the Pope Mobile. Yeah, got like another
Are
one over here.
those used item frames as headlights?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, thing is, I had to get a bit of inspiration from using Google Images, like Google Minecraft classic car build, and looked at Google Images to get some ideas in terms of how I might go about making something like
Luton
this.
images.
Yeah.
Luton images. Yeah.
So yeah, I made sort of those, like another one over over here.
There.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We've got a couple more houses up here. Oh, we've got like a little sort of shelter for this vehicle here going on between these two buildings. Nice. I've got some more ruins over here. Oh man, yeah. I look back on this one, and I do kind of feel
the
proud
time
of it.
periods we chose are pretty decent. I mean, World War One is definitely an interesting. Obviously, supposed to be the war to end all wars, the Great War.
Even though
that didn't come to fruition, did it? Really?
Didn't quite turn out that way, did it? But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'll talk about actually the kind of broad array of time periods that we were intending to do later on in the video. But basically, the idea was that we were going to select a lot of different time periods that were very distinct from one another, so that no two time periods would ever kind of look quite the same. Yeah,
that was I think that was a good idea of us two thinking that, because we've got all these different ones. I mean, like these first two straight away, we've gone from the medieval era straight into World War One.
Yeah,
which are two vastly different periods of times.
Indeed,
they are 6 years apart. That's it.
6 years.
6 years. 6 years apart. 600 years apart. I meant.
There you go, man. 6 years. Yeah, technology sure advanced very quickly.
Can you
didn't
imagine
it,
that? Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, do you like my double-decker bus over here? Transport de village. There we are. Yes, I had like random signs up to try and convey a sense that this is indeed France. Like over here, for example, we've got La Gare for the train
Oh, no,
station.
there's something wrong with this.
What's that?
It's French.
It's French. Oh, dearie me.
Oh, hey up.
Billet, a personnel sous le mont, la
I like that
boutique
you
de
can
terre
get,
Rosaline.
this humour into it on the signs. Obviously, back in the other two videos, so we had humour as well.
Indeed, yeah. Like the Scottish signs with the silly over-the-top Scottish accent. Get your haggis here and all that. But yeah, dearie me. But yeah, like, God, there's like so much potentially we could see sort of around here. Like little parasols and outdoor tables.
Parasols.
Yeah.
One of the worst things that came during the obviously this period. Well, it came after this period, which you can't, as if the devil shone down on you. You might have survived World War One, but then, oh, look at this, a massive pandemic happened.
Yes, Spanish flu.
Yes, something we should have learnt from for this one.
Yes. See, pandemics, they've always happened throughout history, and you'd think people would look back, but no, people
Thankfully and luckily, our pandemic hasn't been to quite the extent of the Spanish flu.
No, it hasn't been quite that bad.
Curb it. Yeah, we managed to curb it a lot better than they did back then.
Indeed.
But just imagine that must be horrendous. Just imagine you get the Spanish flu. You're a soldier. You've just fought in World War One. You've actually managed to survive all the horrible, and you're sitting there and you've worked out finally that the armistice is being signed, and you're like, oh, massive relief.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
down with the Spanish flu, and that's it. You're dead. Oh God, yes. Big
and they
thing.
say, isn't there a fact that saying that the Spanish flu killed more people than who died in World War One?
Yeah, is that true? I think that's true. Yeah, at least I've heard something like that as well.
To add insult to injury.
Yeah.
All right, kick up the arse that.
Indeed. And then you can like go up here. We'll
shout.
come to the church a little bit later because that's significant to the story. But I was going to have like a whole section of the town sort of over this side as well. But you can see, like, I built this giant.
You got the French flag.
Yeah, you got these French flags out here. This was, I think, supposed to be like a big abandoned hotel building or something. This was L'Hôtel National de la République. Yes. That's what I call it anyway. And it's got a whole interior to it. It's got these French flag banners as well, which are pretty awesome. La salle à manger, the dining hall, or whatever this was. La cuisine, personnel.
It's a dining hall.
Yeah, kitchens and things through here around the sort of back of the building.
Kitchens and things.
Kitchens and things, yes, indeed. I think I must have had like hotel rooms as well. Wait, where did this go? Down here? Was this just more hotel rooms? Oh, it might have been. Oh yeah, it's like hotel rooms through here. Do you like my shower and bath combination with these white wool shower? Yeah, tripwire hooks. They don't know. Tripwire hooks do really well if you just need them to.
And they do look like shower heads.
They do, don't they? Yeah.
No doubt. There's the amount of Minecraft mods are out there. I believe there is a furniture's mod.
Yeah, there is.
And you can add things like showers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and then down here it's like a cellar.
Yeah.
Indeed, there's nothing really down here, just chests and things that don't really have anything in them, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm not going to explore every last hotel room in here because a lot of them are kind of similar, but there are some more notable ones. Oh yeah, like through here, the suites deluxe. So we have the suite ambassadeurs, which is a bit more luxurious. Yes.
I've got an interesting question for you.
Go ahead.
Actually, Andrew, if you know any, and you might be able to impress our viewers,
Mm-hmm.
is there any facts that you know about World War One that people might not immediately know? Because obviously, there's all the basic stuff that people know. You know, you fought in trenches. You had the invention of various different things. But is there something that maybe obscure fact about World War One that you can give the viewers that you might think, oh no, I didn't know that?
I'm trying to think actually. Yeah, I think actually an interesting one, which people may or may not know.
Go on. Yeah.
Just because. You know, when everyone thinks of World War One, often they think of obviously the battle in France in the trenches, the Somme, stuff like that. But you know, that wasn't the only kind of theatre of World War One. There were lots of others as well, and you know, one which is kind of fresh a bit in my memory because on some of the courses I teach on where I work, there are certain courses that cover it. Was the Gallipoli Campaign in 1915, which was. Winston Churchill was actually one of the big brains behind that because you know, he also played a big part in World War One as well as World War Two, and it was it's kind of perhaps one of Winston Churchill's less, how shall we say, brainier ideas,
Less successful as well.
Yeah, less successful because Gallipoli, was an absolute failure for the Allies. It did not go well. You know, there was just a real astounding lack of planning with it, because the idea was to try and open up a front against Ottoman Turkey, but unfortunately the Turkish forces were kind of well dug in and had an idea that the attack was coming, and so they were just really prepared for it. So yeah, a little fact there, because you know, Winston Churchill, Winston Churchill is one of those figures who, you know, we know him mainly for his tenure in office in World War Two and being, you know, a great sort of wartime leader, but you know, Winston Churchill had kind of been a prominent political figure in World War One as well, and you know, he hadn't had.
As was Hitler.
Yes, indeed. Hitler, of course, was a corporal in the German army back in World War One, and was almost killed at one point.
Yes, I remember that. Imagine if that happened. That would have changed things for the better or for the worse. We don't know.
Indeed, yeah. So we just explored around a bit there. We'll come to the church, like I say, in a second. So, having just showcased a bit of the kind of the scenery here, the idea with the story was that as me and Phil get sort of chased through this town, eventually we would find like a sewer entrance somewhere that we would go into. I can't remember where it was I was planning to put it. I feel like it was somewhere it was going to go around here.
Sewer.
There's always a sewer. You've got to have a mandatory sewer area. Yeah, indeed. And the idea is we would go up there, and the sewer would eventually lead out into a crypt underneath the church, where we would meet with the last few remaining survivors of this French town. And so previously, I think it was in the last episode, I mentioned how with the Aeon Avengers there would always be like an Aeon Avenger agent in each time period. So, you know, in the Scotland one it was going to be Maid Morag, who was kind of one of the key characters in, you know, medieval Scotland. But in this one, it was going to be a French police officer. I think his name was Constable Dupuis, something like that. At least that was the kind of working name that I had for him. And the idea was that we would meet him in the crypt under the church. So we would meet him, and then I think the storyline had us kind of going around doing a few errands for him. Like there was going to be like a chateau that we had to go to find like radio parts,
and
something like that.
You'd have a little exclamation mark above his head. I have a quest.
A side quest for you.
I have a side quest for you. Oh right, okay. What's my reward? You'll get 5 XP.
Nice, lovely. Yeah, so basically the idea was that this church was going to be like the survivors' kind of base in the village, and there would be a couple of occasions where we would have to defend this church from the zombies trying to swarm it and things like that. But yes, you see it's quite ruined like the rest of the place. But again, this was another build that I quite, you know, just look back on and I quite like what I did, because it's got all these kind of scaffolding things up around the smash window so you can get up and snipe down at zombies that are trying to attack, things like this. Yeah, man, it would have been quite good to see this actually brought to life, but Yeah, well, I'm still proud of it. And as usual, I've got my graveyard out here, which probably has a few silly joke ones. It's actually a split level graveyard. It's like a few
Oh
ones
yeah, you've got
down there.
another one down below.
Yeah. Um, This really was actually testing some of my building skills, actually creating. Because the thing is, this whole village has a lot of like split level areas where some buildings are like higher up than others. So I'd have to like create sloping roads, stairways, all kinds of things.
I mean, with the features that have come in today's Minecraft, you could probably do so much more
Yeah, you
now.
could.
Because remember, this was all based on 2011
Yeah,
sort of stuff, and we didn't
indeed.
have there wasn't a huge amount
Just realised a lot of these gravestones actually have signs on them that are written in in French.
written in France.
Yeah,
They were actually written in France. You went to France personally and wrote them there, and then came back.
dearie me. I'm just wondering, are there any slightly weird ones, silly ones that I've added? Because there probably will be. Benjamin Maigret, 404, page non trouvé. Dearie
Oh
me.
God! Oh
See,
God!
told you there'd be some funny ones. Are there any others? God, I can't remember what some of these actually say. Where are they? Bicol, Jérôme Leclerc, Mon Dieu, Céline de Paris, La Guillotine, something or other. Fabrice Chenier, Victor Brisset, Michel Ancel, and it says, "Wait, this guy's not dead."
Michel Ancel, what's he
Yes.
doing there?
Oh,
Pub guy.
dearie
I mean,
me.
he has left Ubisoft now, but
Yes, indeed.
he wasn't at the
Véronique
time.
Brunet, Henri Lemaitre, Daisy Duke. Alas, we never did find out what
Oh,
happened to you.
oh God, yes. Oh my God, that's
Shadow of Israel reference, ladies and gents. I'm just thinking, like, some of these graves probably do have things hidden in them that I put there. I'm just sort of thinking, if I could sort of bust some of them open, will there be things hidden? If I just make sure I've got the right sort of slabs out so I can replace them once I've batted them aside. What was in Daisy? There is a sword, the last sword she ever made. It's got knocked
oh
back
yes, because of
too.
course he was a black.
She was a blacksmith in Shadow of Israel, yeah. Serge Duroc. What about the graves down here? Do they have anything?
Next level. I like the way
Uh,
you've done.
yeah, we've got the big sort of crosses. Some of these actually, these ones down here, I don't think they've got actual names or nameplates on them. Nah, so there wasn't. Yeah, okay, so there's a couple of silly ones in this graveyard over there. I was probably planning to put more of them in as I went along. But yeah, as you can see, like with these trees as well in this whole area, I sort of like built them with the logs, but never put leaves on them because obviously the whole idea is they're meant to look like they've been absolutely, well, they're all dead basically. But yeah, so that was all that, and that's
Very
yeah,
desecrated place. We can certainly
indeed.
say that. It's been
Yeah.
desecrated by the Germans.
The Germans, yes. So the story was that eventually, the Aeon Avengers would find us in the church with Dupuis and the other survivors, and from then on, we would basically head out for the final stage of this time period, which would be following the railway line out to the German trenches to investigate the secret labs that they've built up underground around there, and kill off the remaining zombies, destroy the
Yeah.
machine that the Germans have created that's basically producing them, and then find the temporal trap activation key in this time period. So yeah, this
Lovely.
is just a sliver really of what this time period ultimately was meant to be, which is a shame. I would have liked to actually get around to building the trenches and stuff like that, but what can you do, eh?
Can't do everything.
Yeah, but thing is, this is all now that there is of this map. There isn't actually anything else to showcase. But before we start wrapping up, I want to kind of go through what the
The
other
other
time
times,
periods.
yes,
Yeah,
we should have
yeah,
go through what our plans were
yeah.
for the
So
next.
I think I'll actually ask you that question, Phil. How many do you remember? Can you remember what the next one was going to be, for example?
I do remember some. Yes,
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. I think the third one was that one the Japanese one,
That was indeed going to be the Japanese one. It was going to be Japan in 1600, if I remember
feudal
correctly.
Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, feudal Japan. And I think, if I remember correctly, the storyline of that one was that we appear somewhere in the mountains of Japan, the snowy mountains, and there's like a Japanese wise man who can like see through time because basically the temporal trap activation key had landed in his vicinity. He'd had like a moment where it had almost kind of like given him sort of powers of premonition or something. I can't remember the exact story. It was something weird like that, and like he was having visions of a strange fortress in the mountains
Yeah,
that we
something
had to
like
go
that.
to.
I was just thinking as well. Just thinking now when I look back at it, was 10 good or was it a bit too much? I don't know.
I don't know.
We
Well,
did
I
have
mean,
we did have a time period for every single one of the
yeah,
10.
we did. 10 was the one we were kind of going for. I don't know how it would have turned out. Maybe it would have been slightly too many. Maybe it would have been just fine. I'm not sure. Looking back, maybe it would have been perhaps a bit too many, but I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know because we never got round to making this series. So yeah, there was Feudal Japan. That was the idea there. It was going to be all like sort of. I think it was going to be kind of like sort of robotic ninjas and samurai and things like that. Something like that when we get to this big fortress in the mountains where I think Jude
really
Diesel
good.
has been. Yeah. Can you remember what time period was going to come after that though, Phil?
Oh, now I'm a bit stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I was a bit
I
stuck
know
at
we wrote it all
first,
down.
yeah, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head either, so I had to refresh my memory by searching out if I had any old planning documents from back in the day, which I did. So I was able to refresh my memory on what each time period was going to be.
Yeah.
So time period number 4 was going to be the Caribbean in 1730. So it was going to be all like
Oh,
pirates, yeah.
oh, the golden age of piracy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's going to be like it's going to be like treasure hunting across islands and stuff like that, which was going to be a real good one. Yeah,
I remember that one now. Yes, I
indeed.
do remember that one.
Yeah,
That's a good little time period, that one.
yeah.
So we'd have had lots of different, because you can do a lot, especially now. Imagine now with all the changes to the oceans as well.
Yeah, man, that would be good actually. If I'd built that in more modern Minecraft. Okay, so there was the Pirates one. Can you remember what came for time period
No.
5? No. Time period 5 was going to be USA 1861 during the American Civil War. So that was going to be like Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cowboys and like Indians and all kinds of stuff. But I can't remember whether I had like a specific plot line to go on with that one, or
I
whether
don't
it's just
think we got to the point where we got to plot lines quite yet.
yeah, not at
I
that
think-
stage. I think by that stage, it was still just kind of a vague idea of what, which time periods we were going to go to and all that.
Yeah.
Time period
Number
6 was going to be Mars in 2050. So we're going to
Yeah,
go
so
into the
these are
future.
ones where we're starting to go into the future now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to like Mars, and there's going to be like a research base or something that we'd go to. But again, there wasn't really anything plot-wise beyond that I had in mind at that stage, other than just the setting. Now that was time period 6. Now time period 7 was an odd one because I don't think we ever fully decided exactly what we were going to do for that one, but I think what we were possibly eventually going to settle on was ancient Greece. Something like that.
Yeah.
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 To take advantage of the fact that blocks like quartz had been added into the game, so you could theoretically build big sort of like marble Parthenons and things.
Yeah.
So
And statues.
indeed.
Like Zeus and all that.
Yeah, so I can't really remember too much again, like because I don't think I really planned out a proper plot there. But I think I had a vague idea that I was going to try and bring some like Greek mythological elements to that in some way. To kind
Yeah,
of
well,
give that.
you've got to,
Yeah,
haven't you? That's what
indeed.
it's all about in ancient Greece.
Yeah. Sorry, just sipping my tea. And then, so that was time period 7. Time period 8 was going to be USA again in the 1920s, so it was going to be Prohibition era, or like gangsters and moles and
That would have been a good one.
bootleggers,
Yeah.
yeah, things like that. Jazz clubs and whatever, and speakeasies and stuff like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
All the good stuff back then. Yeah. Flappers.
Flappers, that sort of thing. Yeah, then time period 9, I think, was the other one where we were going to go into the future as well. That was going to be Europa I think the year was something like 2500.
Yeah.
Europa, for anyone who doesn't know, is one of the moons of Jupiter. So another
One
kind
of
of
the
like
many moons of
Yeah.
Jupiter. The most common ones are Europa, Iowa, and Ganymede.
Yeah. So Europa was going to be quite an interesting one, actually, because I was planning that I would build that one in the end to take advantage of the fact that it's quite dark. And the idea was, because the thing is, like, Europa, from what scientists understand, its surface, it kind of has like a kind of outer crust of ice, but then scientists believe there's like big sort of underground oceans underneath it. So it was going to be like a big sort of undersea adventure, that one, which would have been quite something, but with more of like a sci-fi twist to it. And then finally, time period 10. Do you remember it by any chance?
I do. I think I do remember
Go on.
time period 10. I think it was due to be Atlantis, wasn't
Yes, it was going to be like
Yeah.
Atlantis in like 10,000 BC or something. So an even more ancient one. But except the twist with that one would be that instead of being inhabited by humans, it would be inhabited by fish people who would be of the same race as one of the Aeon Avenger characters, Salty. And the idea is we'd go there and we would see Duke Diesel basically destroying Atlantis, something like
Yeah,
that.
coming.
Yeah,
And at this point, is obviously horrendously annoyed
Yeah.
because we've nearly got all the keys.
indeed. Yeah, that was the story. So that was the 10 time periods, ladies and gentlemen, that we had planned. And then, of course, after that, the idea was that we would go back to the Diesel dimension with the 10 activation keys, and there would be the final showdown between
Against Duke
ourselves,
Diesel.
yeah,
Yeah.
Duke Diesel and the baddies and all that, to basically defeat Duke Diesel and send London back, back to where it belongs, in essence.
Yeah, that's what happened. As soon as we defeated him, we went back, and then our memories got wiped. And like, oh, it's a nice day in London. No,
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, was memory wiping going to be a thing in the story? I don't remember
no,
that.
I don't think it was.
No.
But no, we would have saved the day, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what would have happened after that if we would have stayed with the Aeon Avengers or moved on.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, who knows? Maybe one day we would have ended up doing a sequel adventure, something like that. But who knows what that might have been? Yeah, London has been taken away again, or maybe it'll be another city this time. Maybe a last call for Paris.
Last Call
Who
for
knows?
Paris.
Oh,
And
there's a
this
desert
time
temple over there.
it's Duke Diesel's son.
Duke
How
Diesel's son,
dare you kill my dad? I'm coming
Diesel
after you.
Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, no. I don't think I had any.
Or should we have been like
plans for
Batman, who never kills anyone but just beats them up?
Yeah, he just sort of beats the hell out of them and then just doesn't actually kill them. Weird. Yeah. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So that was the Last Call for London map tour.
So as well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think to those 10 time periods? Give us your views. Do you think they would have been good? Do you think one of the? Be honest. Do you think one of them was? You can say if it was a bit naff.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have worked, or anything like that. Or if you thought that, oh yeah, there's some good time periods there.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, tell us which ones are good. Tell us which ones you think would have been a bit naff.
Do you think 10 time periods would have been stretching it out quite a bit? Or would it have been about right? Yeah, so there you go. Thanks for joining me for these map tour videos, Phil.
It's good that we've gone through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To showcase what we've done. Because originally, I know we talked about it a few times in episodes, and you had that whole episode on Minecraft ramblings.
Yes, we did.
Whether to do this. Yeah.
And it was good to actually do that, because going back through this map has, I've said it before, it's been a real kind of blast from the past, from back in our VA Brits days when we had so many kind of grand plans for things that we were hoping to do, but sadly it just never came to fruition.
We do have a few. It's a good little channel. Obviously, we've shown the some stuff from it, which you've got in the Imperial Archives.
Indeed, yeah. 2 videos, Minecraft videos. If you haven't seen those, ladies and gentlemen, basically just search General Red's Imperial Archive on YouTube, and they should come up. All VA Brits footage. One was like an episode from a custom map playthrough, and the other one was like from our Minecraft Let's Play that we actually did do.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe we did a Minecraft Let's Play.
I know. Showcasing how to make a pick, even though by that stage it was like
Yeah,
beta
and how to make a
1.8. Indeed, and everyone already knew how to do that. Indeed, yes.
That's what you get, isn't it, when you carry on? But
Yeah.
I hope you have enjoyed it, viewers, and seeing what could have possibly been.
What could have been, yeah.
But life unfortunately got in the way of everyone.
It did, yeah.
It tends to do, and we weren't able to
complete this. Yes, well, sad, but at the same time, it's good to actually, effectively make sure this map hasn't gone to waste. It has ultimately served a purpose, and the purpose has been having a bit of a rambling nostalgia fest with me and Phil. There we go. Oh boy, yeah. So other than that, I don't think there's really anything else to say. So we'll probably start wrapping up here. So thanks for joining me, Phil.
Absolutely, always good to go through this as well. And if the viewers have got any questions, just put them in the comments.
Yeah.
And we can answer them.
Indeed, yes.
If you've got any questions at all about this, or indeed when we come to do a future Q&A, you can always ask questions in there about this.
Indeed, yeah.
If you have any on
Yeah, maybe
that
I
we
should.
might not explain.
Yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
should put up another call for Q&A questions at some time
Yeah.
fairly soon. Haven't
Yeah,
done one for a
definitely.
while. Yeah. In that case, then Facebook and Twitter links are down below for anyone interested, and so is a link to my propagandist channel if you're interested in seeing anything that I do over on there. But other than that, you know what? A like is always appreciated if you did enjoy that. And yeah, this is the two of us signing off now. So goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Oh. Wow. Testing out the dummy. Wow. What's he called? Detective Turret? Wow. We've got defective turrets. Maybe I tried. Wow. Defective turret, that's what it says. I don't know why I said detective bullseye. Can I go through there? You didn't hit anything defective turret. Wow.